Dad, welcome to my Challenge Your Norm podcast. I have been wanting to have you on here for about 3 years now, and I think every single time we've met over the past 3 years, I've asked you, and this time I asked you once again, and you said, maybe, and that has never before been the response. And the reason I wanted to have you on is because you are such an interesting person, and you have played such a massive role in who I've become as a person today, and I know that the audience are going to find everything you have to share today really exciting. You are on an entrepreneur path right now, and you have not lived a regular life in the paths you have chosen. And your mindset towards living a healthy life, which is something every single one in my community is striving towards, is something that I feel like you have nailed, both when it comes to the physical aspect, but also the mental aspect when it comes to that. So I'm really, really excited that you're here.
Thanks for having me.
I want to start off going in a bit of the fitness direction because yesterday I trained with you. You're turning 60 this year. And every single time I train with you, I am inspired. And most people would look at me and think I'm in great shape. But I train with you and I get inspired to work harder because you're crazy strong. You train every single day when you're living at home. Obviously, when you're on your work trips, that's not always possible. And the way that you eat too is just, in my eyes, health. You do have your treats when it comes to wine and stuff, but you really live a healthy lifestyle. So I want to get everyone to understand your mindset towards it. Why do you train every day?
I think I've probably done that my whole life since I was, 9 or 10 years old. I actually almost remember the switch. I was quite chubby when I was like a child.
You and me both.
No. I was way more chubby than you were.
Really?
I was really chubby. And I remember one day I got, summer holiday from school. I might have been, 10 or 11. And you're walking home with my backpack. And I was just so energetic about having summer holiday right in front of me. And then I started running home. And I could not run. I could not really run. But I ran the whole way home. And I think that day it changed. And then after that, I probably always have had a high activity level. I won't call it nervous feet, but I don't enjoy sitting down too long. I need to move around. And exercise is just a part of who I am and what I do. I think going forward, I've done a number of different sports and all of that. And when you go into adulthood, it kind of just has to fit in life as well. So yeah, it's just it's one of my good habits, I would say, that going to the gym. You said 7 days a week, let's say 6. Normally I do have a rest day or life gets in the way, but generally I think going to the gym 6 days a week, some walks in as well. But yeah, staying active is just something I like.
But I want everyone to understand that when you were my age, when you were 30, you were not in as good shape as you are today. And I think that's really inspiring for everyone because it shows that even if when you're 40, you haven't made a routine to go to the gym 6 days a week, it's never too late.
That's right. I think when I turned 45, maybe 42, 45, that became the new routine. I was running a fair bit when I was younger. That kind of tapered off, and then the gym started, I think. And it fits in my daily routine. I do the workouts generally with my wife, and that's the thing we do together. And we both enjoy it. And if there's one day that one is a little bit down, the other one pulls the other one up. So I think it's a good match for training that we do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel the benefits. I mean, I'm not 30 anymore. A lot of the people I work with are younger, and I just like to be able to keep up, not think about being able to keep up doing things. It's just I don't want to struggle with any of that. And maybe also as you get older, you think ahead, where you think in life. I've always said that I want to live a long life. Yeah. It's not necessarily that you can live a long life, but I think the quality of the life you can have in the last period of life is quite important. You can either carry yourself around or not. And I mean, I prefer to prepare for that. And if that's a routine now, hopefully I'll be able to continue.
So when you don't feel like it, what is the thing that you tell yourself to get up and do it anyway? Because the reason I'm asking is because this is one of the things you really ingrained in me, and that I'm trying to get out to all the people in my community. Is like, oh, that's easy. We'll just do it anyway. It's like you see the thing that normal people will be seeing as hard as easy. My book is going to be called Make Hard Easy. And I feel like you really have that mindset. Even yesterday, we walked to the gym because you're like, obviously, we're going to walk to the gym. It's a 45-minute walk. And not everyone would do that.
No, I don't really have a good answer to that. I mean, it's just part of who I am or has become, if that makes sense. So I don't want walking being a struggle. And the only way walking does not become a struggle is by doing it quite a lot. You can't say you want to go to the gym and get in there. You want to lift bench press 200 pounds. You're not going to do that without building it up. And I just...
Which, by the way, I'm just going to tell everyone in here, yesterday you benched. What is that even? 45 times 5. What's that? Well, plus 10 and 10 or 25 and 20. You benched over 250 pounds yesterday, and you're turning 60 this year. I just wanted everyone to hear that, because that's the type of shape you're in. That's freaking crazy. Sorry, keep talking.
Yeah, and I mean, the only one I'm competing with is myself.
You really do have that ability. You never compete with others. You really do compete with yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get inspired by others.
Yeah.
If you go to a gym and you see how people are training, but I'm not competing with anyone else. No, it's me.
Yeah.
It's me against me last week. And I mean, when you get to my age, you don't have to have many days off the gym before you have to start building back. So every time I do a business trip for a week or 2 weeks or something, I have to build myself back. It's not like being in the 20s and 30s where that doesn't matter. You just go back into it. I just have to keep building back every time I go back. And that's just how it is.
Yeah. I was thinking actually about grandma and granddad, your parents. They have the same mindset. So you also did grow up, like I grew up with your mindset. You grew up in that mindset too of we're just going to move. We're just going to move our body. We're just going to go do the thing. They've always done gymnastics. And it's just such a normal way of life. And you just have to normalize it, right?
Yes. Now you mentioned my parents, your grandparents. I think one of them has always been more active than the other, right? And that sets the benchmark. I mean, we said my granddad was not that active, but actually he is, right? It's just because the family benchmark for what activity level is normal is pretty high. So it's in a high range. It's not in a low range. No one is striving to sit, right?
Yeah.
Or lie on a couch unless you're just actually super tired, right? Or just done.
Yeah. It's interesting because this all comes back to, how you grew up, the people you surround yourself with. You mentioned Kate, your wife. She's amazing. Love her. That you guys have this thing together. It's like you said, it's like they set the minimum standard, right? So who you surround yourself with is so major in what becomes the new norm in how much you move. I see that in the community I have. It's like when you are around these people who constantly are wanting to grow and push themselves, then it becomes the norm, and then you just keep wanting to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's
so surround yourselves with people. If you want to become in better shape, surround yourself with people who are in good shape. Like you said, you get motivated when you go to a gym.
Yeah.
Where people are in good shape. Yeah.
But I mean, don't just go to the gym together. We like walking as well.
Yeah.
Running as well, not as much as it was in the past, but those activities we enjoy doing together.
Yeah.
I only have, I think, 2 bad gym days in a year where I go to the gym and realize I should not have come there, right? There's many days where, do I really need to go to the gym? And I go there and I come out more in a better mood than not, right? When I'm in the gym, I'm not too focused about everybody around me. I'm an introvert, right? So I'm not too focused about anyone. So I'm kind of in my bubble. When I'm in the gym, it's kind of my retreat in a way, even though it can be busy. I don't stress around what everybody else is doing. It's just like, I'm actually chilling, even though I'm working out. Mentally, I think.
Yeah, which I want to go into because I feel like you have this ability to focus on yourself in the sense of you don't worry too much about what other people think, about what other people want you to do, but you have this authentic way of choosing what direction you move towards. And one of those things was when I was 8, my youngest brother was 3 and my oldest brother was 11 or something like that. You got a job offer in Poland. And not everyone was excited about us moving to a different country. We lived in Poland for 2.5 years, then we moved to China for a while. We moved back to Denmark, but you still lived in Holland, so we traveled back and forth from Holland, and now you've lived in Australia for 10 years. Or has it been more?
More, yeah.
More. Way more, like 15 maybe.
It's
12?
12, 13 years.
Yeah, and not everyone is happy about that, but you decided you want to live abroad, and that makes you happy.
At the time, before moving, if anyone would have asked me, would you ever move anywhere? The answer would have been a firm no, very firm no. Also at that point in time had an ambition, career and ambition and family. So I was driven in that way. And it was career-wise, it was a great opportunity that was put in front of me to move to Poland and take responsibility for a whole factory of drilling equipment and try to turn it around. We were doing good things in Denmark in the factory we had there, and a lot of, you can say, what we were doing was to be implemented in Poland. So at the time, it was probably the ambition that overtook the idea about moving out. But what I realized, living in a different culture, there's a big difference being a tourist, even for 3 weeks, or working in a location for a period. Once you stay there for a while, you get under the skin of a new culture and a new country. And I did not realize what Denmark was until I tried something else. And you start appreciating things in Denmark, and you appreciate things in the countries you live. And it just opens, it's hard to explain, but it just opens, it opens you up in a different way. That was that. So it was the ambition that took me there, and then the family. You just have to come along, right?
Yeah, which I'm happy because I got the opportunity to live abroad. At the time, I did not like it. I just wanted to get back to Denmark as soon as possible. I did not like it. But today, I'm so happy that I got that opportunity because it opened my eyes too. And look at me. I, at 19, went to LA and I was like, I want to live here. So I think for me, it was, looking back, I'm so grateful that you took us away and got to experience a different world, both in Poland and China, because that's two completely different,
very different, yeah,
places to live. Yeah, but you moved back to Denmark for a while.
Yes.
And you did not like it.
Once I came back to Denmark, I felt I was missing some of the, what do you call it? Some of the environment that you have in other places. It didn't feel right. It was hard to settle back to the Danish way of doing things, so to speak. It's quite. I felt restrained in a way. So when the opportunity was there of going to Australia, and I mean I worked you can say in Australia, so I had some idea about what Australia would mean, and that's probably my place. Australia is my place. I don't have a desire to go anywhere else at the moment. I feel Australia quite fulfilling. Yeah.
And now you've been in Australia for 12, 13 years, you had, and you were working for other companies and the government. But recently, first I actually want to ask you this, because I know many people in my audience have a calling, a little nudge, urge to go explore another place, but they have the fear.
Yes.
What would you tell them?
I think it's important if you go and explore a new country or a new place that you try to set yourself up for success, because going to a new place, it's not easy and without challenges. I think, especially if you're bringing your family along, I think there's a couple of very characteristic things that I've observed over the years. The first 3 months in a new place, like totally new place, is a little bit like the honeymoon period. It's new and exciting, but you're not any longer among your friends. So the friendships you have redefine, and you might have to be actively seeking new friends, and that can be that's a challenge. The older you get, the bigger the challenge that is. So but the first 3 months is like a long vacation, and if you're working, you're busy doing that. When you get to 6 months, it didn't happen to me, but definitely happens to the family. When you get to 6 months, everybody want to go home. The honeymoon period is over, and everybody want to go home. But that's when you get into the new routines, and you actually start taking a new culture and a new way of doing things in. And then you can say from 6 months to you can say going forward, that's actually where you work out if what this new place actually is. I mean, I don't think there's any quick fixes. There's the time just has to, pass through you as a person in the new place before you actually know what you think about it. I think if you're in a new place and you don't have money and you are struggling with, surviving, that's a different proposition than if you have a job and actually can make it work for you. But you learn different things. I mean, being a manager or a leader in different cultures, you have to pick up pretty quickly what it actually requires to lead or manage in that culture, because that's very different. Being a leader or manager in Denmark was very different to being a leader or manager in Poland, being very different to doing it in China. Same thing in Australia, because every culture, they can look the same from YouTube and TV and what have you. It's not. Every culture is actually very different. And if you want to work with people and try to make things work, you have to change your mindset to make it work in that location, is what I, which is part of evolving in a new place, I find. Yeah.
For me, when I went to LA, I did not have that same experience. I just wanted to stay right away. For me, it did not take 6 months to realize that I wanted to stay there. But I can see that. But I came straight into a home for dancers where it was like, dream. All my childhood dreams were like right there in front of my eyes. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because you really supported me when I told you, Dad, I want to go to LA and I want to go dance. But isn't that scary as a dad?
It's horrifying. Before we get to that, you said earlier on that I was determined and I knew what I want in life and all of that. That's actually not what I am in my DNA. I'm actually my self-direction, the internal self-direction is probably quite low, so it takes me a long time, and there's a lot that needs to be in place for me to make a decision of doing something different. I've always been, if you're in a career and jobs and everything, it kind of moves you away if you're ambitious. You're different. You're very different when it comes to that. You knew before you were going to LA, this is what I want to do. You were not taking you from Denmark going to LA. You were very determined what you wanted to do, which is what's that called? It's a gift that you have because you're not in doubt. You lock in on that thing you want to do and you do it. And as a parent, you don't really have much option than trying to support that, because otherwise I would have held you back. And that's not what I would like to do. I want you to thrive. And you were so determined, right? And of course it came with no one sends their 19-year-old daughter to LA. And I mean, we've had some of the things that has happened here, mainly good things, but there's been times where I get a phone call in the middle of the night, and you really have to stay calm and collected when your daughter is saying, this is the situation right now, what do I do, right? And there's been a few incidents where...
you can tell a story if you want.
There's just... most of the things have been good, right? And we at that point in time, we spoke on the phone every day. So I had a good feeling for what you were doing. And when you got your, in the beginning you couldn't work, so it took you some time to get your permission to work, and you could work in that specific thing, and you got these, sometimes I would call them dodgy jobs, if I can put it like that. And one day you called me, and it was in the middle of my night, and you said, "Oh, Dad, I'm on the top of this building, and there's these people that has hired me for a job, and they want me to dance on the table. I don't really feel confident doing that." And it's a little
in not a lot of clothes.
No, in not a lot of clothes. And I said, well, that's not really That's not really what you signed up for. Do you remember where the door is and the way down? Yeah, all right, you get out right now and you stay on the phone all the way.
I ran out. I was in the Uber. The guys got very mad, but
that's
I
all right.
left.
That's all right. That's fine. So there's been some scare. You get that phone call and you're half awake, and one thing you can't do in the other end of the phone is panic. You just have to stay calm, right? But you learn a lot from that. But I was always I knew who you were, who you are as a person, and you're hardworking. You're not fluffing around. You're really a hardworking person. So if you could not succeed over here with your hard work, I had a deadline for you, right?
You did.
You
25.
You were very smart in school. You're not a dumb blonde.
I felt
no,
like I was, but
whatever. You were not. You were very, very smart. You could have picked an education in Denmark is free, right? You could have picked from any degree or whatever you wanted to do. And I mean, our family is a bit conventional, traditional in that, right? Everybody is kind of expected to get some sort of education.
Yeah.
And that's just in the culture. You didn't want to do that, but I said if you're not self-supporting and self-sufficient when you're 25, you're coming right back and you're going to uni and you're doing a 6-7 year degree, and then you can do again what you want to do. So that was a little bit the deal, but that was not that. It never got to that point, not even close, right?
But I told you last night that deadline was in my head.
Yep.
And I worked, especially the last 3 years leading up to the 25. That's when I really went all in. And I made it work. I had my first big month. I think I was 24. And I was like, okay, I am set for life. It then turned out that there's like bumps on the roads and it goes up and down. But I had like my first success that felt valuable for me. So I think it had to do with your deadline too.
Because then even if I would have had or insisted on you getting an education for what you do, there's no way to get trained. You're educating yourself on the way, which is very unconventional. It's not that anyone is hiring for the jobs that you are doing or what you are doing. So there was only one way, and as I said, you're determined, you're smart, you're hardworking. So that just shows that can make a new path in even breaking the norm of a family. Also, know it was a challenge for you at the time because there were not that many people that actually thought it was a good idea for little Pernille as 19-year-old to get on a plane and go to scary LA and start a new life.
Yeah.
But you didn't have a choice. You would have been held back in who you are.
Yeah.
If we all would have said no, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And you really supported me in that. And I think as a parent, that's very hard to do. But we were speaking about this yesterday too. You don't tell your kids what to do. You lead the example of what it looks like to be a good human, to thrive, to become successful. And then, of course, you support us. Like we talked every day. So you would, guide me, but you would never tell me what to do. You would more so lead by example and maybe share what you would do in a situation. You don't ever force me to do something, which gave me the freedom to feel supported.
Gave you the expectation that you need to do something, and you need to work for what you want to do.
Yeah.
So you need some dedication, good at what you do. It's like anything as a sport or activity. You need, somebody says 10,000 hours of doing something before you're in the game, right?
Yeah.
And you have to apply yourself there. You can't just be a couch potato, and unless you can make money of watching YouTube. So that was probably, there was no YouTube at that point in time. But I think you need to apply yourself, and you've always done that.
Which you have now embarked on a crazy new adventure. You've started your own business a couple of years ago. You've been working for other companies and the government throughout your entire life. But now you decided to start your own thing. And I know that has been a challenge. That has been something you've been thinking about doing for so long, and now you took the leap. Can you share?
Yeah, I probably had the same idea. You know, there was something inside me about that when I was 30 as well. And I explored it, never had the courage to jump into that. It's not something that the industry I'm in, it's not something you can just do, start on your own and slowly. There's you can say investment involved when you do it. But at this, as a couple of years ago, when some of the work was ramping down, and I'm turning, going towards 60 and all of that, I said, and I've been doing that kind of work, building drill rigs my whole life, pretty much. If I can't do it, then it can't be done, and I gotta try it. There's a few people that has inspired me, traveling around the world, that has done something where you said that's quite impossible. Even someone in China that was plus 60 when he started his company, right? And what he's done is just super inspiring. And then you totally, you started doing this, right? And it was a little bit in me. If she can do it, I'm gonna give it a go. It's actually I'm not joking. That's part of it. I mean, I see how you thrive here, and there's bumps and there's ups and downs, and I mean, looking at Instagram, life looks wonderful, right? But there's a lot involved in it. So, and my wife started, you can say, this company a couple of years ago with some of the core, you can say, employees, and jumped into the deep. Yeah, building, you can say, a new type of drilling equipment that we're actually selling into North America now, building it in Australia. It's a new way of doing drilling. So, and it's more efficient and more productive, and very suited for you can say, we call it the shallow geothermal industry here in North America. Yeah.
And you are not going to say this out loud, but you had massive success in such a short amount of time. And I've seen you in the midst of the struggle and hardship and challenges that have been a part of starting something as massive as that. Because a lot of people are dependent. There's so much money involved. It is not a simple, easy thing to jump into, but you have done it so amazing. But I want to say I've seen you throughout this journey, and I have been able to, because I read energies, I've been able to read, you have been so committed to make this work, which obviously puts a lot of pressure on you. But now that it's really, there's momentum being built, I can also feel your release, your happiness coming back more as a result of that, which makes me really happy. First of all, that you went for it, and also that now you're seeing it all unfold in the way that you had dreamed for it to. Maybe it's even wilder than what you had imagined.
No, I mean, I don't think until you listen to other entrepreneurs, right? And they all say, before you do anything yourself, that it is really a commitment. There's so much other stuff that comes with it, but it is only when you're in it that you actually realize how much other stuff that comes with it. Starting a company, employees, there's a whole sweep of things, right? And we didn't exactly pick the, an easy thing to do. It's not that we're doing something easy and selling it in Australia. We're building this equipment. We first had to design it, get it protected, build it in Australia, and then deploy it and make it work here in North America.
Which is why you're here right now.
Which is not, who does that?
Yeah.
Right. Big companies do it, but we're doing that at the moment or now. So I mean, we're still early days, a couple of years into it, but it's looking very promising at the moment, which is good. I mean, things change politically in the US as well. So there's a lot of you can say you need to be agile when you maneuver all these different you can say environments that you are doing. But I mean, it's very different building drilling equipment, being in a corporate where somebody else does that and somebody else does that, and you have a global representation. Here we're building this as we go, which we have to, because that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for the clients we have here in the US. We love working with them because they have the same ambition as we have. and you can say that supplying into that, you can say industry with the, we're basically utilizing the stable temperature of the earth, and we're using it for heating and cooling. You're drilling holes, a number of holes down to 3, 5, 6, 700 feet, and then installing that, you can say, those heat pumps or the loops in the ground, and a heat pump system for the building that supply, right? And once that's in place, heating and cooling of that building for the next 50, 100 years, if it stands so long, it's not free, but it is so much more efficient and cheaper than what's happening, you can say, using fossil fuels to do it. So it's a good thing, and we're building the drill rigs, and they're more efficient doing it. And the biggest cost is establishing that bore field, and we are addressing exactly that. So if our contribution to getting the planet climate back to normal is that we can make more people, you can say, adapt to this geothermal heating and cooling, then I'm happy. That gets me out of bed every morning.
I can feel your passion towards making this difference in the world when it comes to the...
To be honest, the business needs to be a business because we want to do better and we want to do more. It's not because I want to retire anytime soon and go to the Bahamas and lie on a beach. That wouldn't get me out of bed every morning, right? Anyway, so that gets me out of bed, that we can make that contribution. As long as we can, we'll keep doing that. Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you have any words of advice for someone who has had that calling on their heart since maybe they were 30 or 20 and they're too afraid to go for it now that you're on this other side of it?
I think it's important to have a look, try to work out what is involved in doing it. I'm probably fortunate that I've been part of drilling businesses and drilling industries for the whole career. So I had a good idea what was involved. That's not the same as saying it's easy. There's no easy in any of it. Some people really want it. We have had a lot of tailwind, and lots of people, including the South Australian government and the federal government, has helped us as well. So we've had that, but there's also people who don't want you to succeed. So you have a lot of, you can say, there's a lot of things to maneuver, but do your groundwork, because when you start something, you can't just say, oh, I don't want to do this today. You can't stop. You make people depending on you. You have clients that are depending on you. So it becomes a commitment, but it's a mutually satisfying relation, I would say. We want to give our clients the drilling equipment as much as they want what we can provide to them, which just makes it right, if that makes sense. So if you are thinking about doing it, I strongly recommend to try. But also, starting a company, there are bumps in the road and there are hurdles. So you must be able to take a few unforeseen events as you move along.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but yesterday you were like, yeah, so now because of the laws that changed, we have to spend $30,000 on this new little thing for our equipment that we've just shipped to the US. Little things like that is what you're talking about.
That. Yeah, that was a smaller little thing, but that is a little. Yeah, that is. But
that was just yesterday.
That was yesterday. Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
but I think starting a business doesn't have to be this capital intensive, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
it's the industry you're in that it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. For my listeners, I feel like when we talk, the things you say about me, I'm often surprised, but it also in some way makes sense what you say about me. For the audience that don't know me on a personal level, they only know me from my podcast, my Instagram, YouTube, whatever. What do you think something that could be how do you view me? Also, because I'm curious.
I mean, I'm your dad, right?
Yeah.
I'm super proud of who you are and who you become, right?
I just want to say, I'm very, very proud of you too, Dad.
Yeah, all right. That's fine.
I know you don't like nice talk like that, but it's true.
No, but I am. And who you are as a human being, right? You are, your values and your heart and soul are beyond anything I could ever have wished for. You're such a nice person. And even when, you've had challenges here in the US with organizations or dance teachers or something like that, where I said, do this where you will always taking a super empathic path in how you get out of it. And that's something that I admire that you are doing. You attract peace around you, I would say, along a lot of things. And how do I view you? You're also, when we're on holidays and I spend time with you, you're part of the 5 o'clock group, and you're probably the earliest one in the 5 o'clock group, and you go early to bed. So just living with you in a normal way, you have to adjust a little bit because you're up super early and you're to bed super early. So this thing about going out for dinner or something like that, you're there. Can we go out for dinner at 5? Or 6? Can we do that? I mean, 8 is really late, right? And I'm just thinking, okay. So that's just these small adjustments because you are who you are. But I love it, right? It's great. You picked your own path and you stick to it, and I love that about it. Yeah.
Thank you, Dan. Talking about food, going out to eat. We never mentioned what you eat. I asked you yesterday what you now currently, because I've known what you eat in a day, but now it's really like the way you eat. I want you to share it with the audience, because I think it's like perfection. Other than your maybe 5 cups of coffee and your wine, your food is freaking, and it has not always been that way. Because I've gotten my sweet tooth from you, because we used to eat candy and chips every night.
But this might also sound like this is me that is doing that. I am. My wife is a foodie. She loves food and she loves healthy food. So, and as this sounds very old school, and there's a little bit of old school in our relationship, because she's definitely having an influence on what I'm eating. So I'm telling you what I do eat. I mean, for breakfast, which I normally don't have until 11:30 a.m. Sorry.
Which you get up at around 6 a.m. for people who doesn't know. So it's a long wait.
Yeah, I get up.
I've eaten 2 meals already. You haven't even had your breakfast today.
No, I don't. But
it's 10 a.m.
But that's only something that has happened later in life for me. I don't eat breakfast. But yeah, we got normally some Greek yogurt or something like that, maybe with a bit of protein powders and some fruits, some berries, typically in that. I bring that to work and I have that. Yeah, as I said, just before noon, and then I normally get hungry, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, where I would have my lunch, which is a late lunch, but it's salad and meat typically. I don't sit and enjoy it. I shovel it in, to be honest. It's just like, that's fairly healthy. Normally I don't snack, but sometimes I snack. I eat some nuts, almonds. We do our own smoked almonds. We just make them in big batches, and then we bring them to work as a bit of a snack. I can snack candy in the afternoon as well, but it's not every 2 weeks I might do that.
Okay. No, you say you go to the gym.
And then after work we go to the gym, yeah.
And then you have your protein shake.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I bring that from home, keep it cold all day, and then I have it after the gym.
Yeah. Yeah. And then for dinner you eat pretty.
Yeah.
Meat and vegetables. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's some of that stuff we bring to work the day after for lunches. Yeah. I think it's a bit easier. You said I had my protein drink or shake after the gym. I mean, we learned. I mean, Kate has to be even more prepared than that, right? Because I think females need a bit of protein before their training session and a bit after. They have to be more particular about when they have their intake. Where men is a bit more, the body is a bit more forgiving. I don't get as much protein as I should have, but that's just what it is. I'm not religious about it, but I'm trying.
You get a pretty good amount. I just think you don't eat too much food in like your calories aren't too that's also why you look the way you do. You're in top shape, fit. Yeah. And I just quickly want to mention, because you mentioned Kate and her eating, which she decided to go on a little weight loss journey, and she's already lost, is it 5 kg that she's lost already? Yeah, and I spoke with her a little bit as she was going into it. We increased her protein, and she's feeling so full now that she's increased her protein, or better at least. Like that's what she said with me, that she feels more full now that she's increased her protein and this new way of eating. And just wanted to mention that because I mentioned that all the time on my podcast. Increase your protein, increase your veggie game, and then your weight loss journey is going to be so much easier. And she was vegetarian for a while, so...
Well, I think that's the biggest transition, right? Years back, she was vegan. Vegan,
yeah.
Like full-on vegan.
Yeah, when I met her, she was vegan.
Yeah, and, vegans are, it's very hard to get the protein that you need there. I think you really have to be determined doing it. You can, but it's that was rough for her. So, some years into it, she became vegetarian, and she's been vegetarian, and that has been a bit of a journey for her, I think, because even getting enough protein, being a vegetarian is, I mean, you can, but she's very active and does a lot of sports as well. So, not that long ago, she decided, and she's been religiously vegetarian, right? So there was always different meals that we had to make in the house.
She would cook like 4 different meals for one dinner too.
Yes,
she's such a caretaker that she would want you and her kids and her as well to have what they wanted. So she was just going above and beyond for every single person.
I think she was, that's probably one of the things she learned in her childhood. She was probably vegetarian very early on, and like in any conventional family, I mean, we're talking years back now, that was not really, why are you doing that? Can't you just, eat chicken? Why do you have to have special food? So she was fighting that. So when she left home, she became, vegetarian and did not want her kids not to have the food that they want. Yeah. So if they either wanted something or not, she was trying to, being healthy, she was trying to not having to force them to eat stuff they didn't want. But anyway, she tried the white meat not that long ago. Yeah, and she got really onto it. So now she's a carnivore more than I am. She's not eating red meat though. But yeah, she said that has been a really good. It didn't serve her anymore, as she says, being a vegetarian.
Yeah.
So she's on that journey now. That's quite exciting. Just observing that.
Yeah. That's amazing that she's now found this new way that works for her. And I think there's seasons in life. So what served us at one point doesn't necessarily serve us at this next point. I've had a couple of people in my community turn from being vegan to not. And it can be really challenging also because of the identity we've created surrounding whatever it is that we've been for so long, and having to, first of all, take the leap and do something different, but also the people in our environment who we've always been a certain way in front of. It can be challenging, but I'm happy she did what felt right.
When she decided to go from vegetarian to eat white meat and all of that, I tried to run a little bit ahead of her to everyone she was meeting, saying this. She let it out there, in not silent, but she let people know. But I said, don't make a deal out of it. Don't make a big deal out of it. Just let it slip. Don't even comment on it. Just, if she wants to talk about it, she'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't make it a topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because we can. Yeah, I love that you did that. That's support, big time. Dad, I have one more question for you. But first, I just want to thank you for coming on this podcast. I've loved it so much. I hope you haven't hated it too much. It's been really amazing. And I want to, where can people find Colric and you?
We have old school, we have a website and then LinkedIn. Colric.com, then you will see what we're doing. And then we're on LinkedIn big time. I know we have an Instagram page, but we probably need to do a bit more on that one to let people go there. But yeah, the website is probably where to find us. Yeah.
Amazing. Check him out. My podcast is called Challenge Your Norm. Whatever first thing pops into your mind, this is a question I ask every single guest on my show. If you had to challenge the listener today, in some way, shape, or form, that you think that would benefit their life moving forward, how would you challenge them today?
To see how many hours or days in a row they could do what they say and say what they do.
That's a good one.
You should have prepared me for that question because I didn't know, but that's what comes to my mind.
That's why I didn't want to prepare you for it, because that is, if someone actually does that, it could change their life.
Does it all the time? I don't, at least. I mean, try.
I think you're pretty consistent. But then there's the rule of it's okay to skip once, but don't skip twice. That's a really good rule. If we're trying to create a habit, if we skip the gym once, it's okay, but don't skip twice.
I just know, I think science about habits, it's changing, right? You need to do something for that many days to make it a habit. I think it's more important that you find habits that serve you. You don't know that the gym is the right thing for you until you have actually tried it. It might not be the right exercise for you. And I think also over life, if it is about exercise, what you need changes. I think doing cardio when you're young is super important, and it stays important for your whole life. I think it's important to make sure that you have the muscles to carry you around, especially later in life, to have the bone strength and all of the things that comes with it, and the muscles help you out with it's more than just muscles, right? So. Yeah, it'll be a changing journey.
Thank you for being the best dad in the world and for coming on my Challenge Your Norm podcast. This
Thanks
was amazing.
for having me.
Thank you. Ay, vad var det gott?
Oh, shit.